The events go up as per original. Dende revives Piccolo and brings him to life. With Vegeta waking up, he realizes that he's been bamboozled and he goes to confront Krillin, Gohan and Dende. He notices that only Dende can say the wish and he's the only one that knows the Namekian language. Vegeta manages to force him like in canon and the wish is made. Vegeta starts glowing because Porunga was doing his thing and Vegeta has gotten his immortality at long last and just in time for the Dragon Balls to fail and Guru to die. With Frieza arriving at the last second, asking who summoned Dragon Balls, Vegeta, gaining his pride and smugness, he turns to Frieza and starts his rant.
Frieza! It's time to meet your end!
With that set in motion, they begin the fight. Of course, Vegeta was taking massive beating, but the more he got damaged, the more Zenkais he's got and the more power he wielded. Before long, Frieza had to transform into his second form. After taking even more beatings and more pain than 100 nut kicks, Frieza was forced to go into his third form. The cycle repeated and he was back at it with the beatings, and the same shit happened until Frieza transformed into his final form. As Vegeta sensed the utter power Frieza displayed, he was sure he could win, but he doesn't want to feel pain. So Vegeta just fought, then recoiled to heal himself up, and then again. There was one problem with his immortality. Since he needs to exert energy to heal himself, he's getting very little Zenkai from his beatings as he's getting extremely hungry. Frieza beats Vegeta to a bloody pulp and Vegeta is unable to move. Having that done, he tries moving to the rest of the Z fighters. Gohan gets his rage boost and that gives enough time to come by to Vegeta, who's barely alive from hunger. They bitch about giving him a senzu and after a good while they senzu him up. He gets a proper full stomach and heals up with a senzu as well.
It looks like my immortality does have a limit after all. Got to be careful.
Vegeta gets up and requests a few more senzu beans before Frieza gets up and obliterates Gohan. He's giving the last one and is told to use it wisely. He immediately puts in his senzu in his mouth, but doesn't chew it up or swallow it. He then goes after Frieza again. He came just in time as Gohan was about to be punched, and Vegeta intervenes and punches Frieza back into his pit.
Go, take your stupid asses back home!
You're going to fight Frieza.
Yes, you dumbwit!
The Z fighters leave the area and the only two remaining are Vegeta and Frieza.
So, Monkey, you're going to defeat me.
Oh, I'll do more than just defeat you. I'm going to crush and kill you!
With everyone gone, the fight is commencing and Vegeta is just messing around with Frieza. But Frieza isn't taking this lightly, as he still has plenty left in his own tank. Frieza is trying to prolong his life, because he knew that Vegeta is just gonna get stronger if he gets worse damage. So he's trying to prevent that. Vegeta caught on and is provoking Frieza, as he needs just one more Zenkai to get par on with Frieza. So Vegeta starts throwing Ki Blast anywhere to distract Frieza, with the finisher being the Gallic Gun. He throws the Gallic Gun at Frieza and is keeping it. Frieza tries to get it away, but his gasket bursts and he decides to put 50% into his finishing blow. That's exactly as Vegeta has it planned and he went straight into the death ball, getting caught up into it for the last Zenkai. Once the smoke went away, Frieza saw that Vegeta is nowhere to be found and that he cannot find his ki anywhere with his counter. Frieza starts laughing maniacally, thinking he has destroyed Vegeta. But Vegeta gets behind Frieza and lands a clean punch right through Frieza. Vegeta kicks Frieza away and Frieza is down on the ground. We see Vegeta in some kind of rags and with plenty of scars left behind.
Looks like that senzu did the trick after all. I was down to barely nothing, but I have regenerated back thanks to my immortality. You're dead, Frieza.
Vegeta powered up one last final flash to kick Frieza's ass once and for all. With Frieza dead and Namek basically safe, the remainder of Namekians came out to see if it's safe, then went to thank Vegeta. But Vegeta had other plans.
I require the Dragon Balls to be in commission as soon as possible. I need to revive my people and this will be their new home.
The Namekians are quite confused as to why he needs to revive his race, so they ask him. Vegeta brushes them off and tells them to get a move on. Back on Earth, Goku has healed back to full health on his own, and Bulma, Gohan, and Krillin went to get some new clothes. Chi-Chi was already all fucked up mentally from waiting on their arrival, but this time they came home early, and Chi-Chi was ecstatic that both her husband and son were back home. Goku told everyone how Vegeta wished to be immortal, and now he's quite a bit more powerful, saying how he can't defeat him now even if he wanted to. Roshi and Tien were quite surprised that Vegeta actually got a wish and asked to elaborate further. The squad wonders if Vegeta has any objectives of coming back to Earth and are a tad bit scared to say the least. Either way, all they can do is wait. It's been about a few months, and so Goku, Gohan, and Piccolo all train together just in case Vegeta decides to come back. Unfortunately, that's exactly what happened, and a big ass spaceship arrived on Earth. Goku, Gohan, and Piccolo went to check it out. It turns out what landed was Frieza's ship, but Frieza wasn't in it, but rather it was Vegeta. Vegeta looked at the rocks and called all three of them out, now being able to sense ki. Goku, Gohan, and Piccolo emerged, and now they were scared as to what will happen.
Are you here to kill us again?
Everything in its own time. I encountered some kid and he mentioned something about some droids.
Vegeta then went into more detail about those so-called androids and how they destroy the planet, also mentioning how Goku will die of a heart virus and giving Goku medicine for it, stating that he only is allowed to kill Goku, not a virus or a washing machine. Goku saw that Vegeta indeed does have a heart, despite him having a very powerful wish in his arsenal to play with. During the 4 years, they grow accustomed to training hard for the androids, and Vegeta even got a child with Bulma, whom they named Trunks. Vegeta also got his way of getting a gravity machine, much like Goku's during his trip to Namek, so he can train in it. So Vegeta milked every opportunity to get stronger inside the gravity chamber. At one point, Vegeta ventured out into space and was left in a corner, where he burst into a Super Saiyan, being the first Super Saiyan in the group. Meanwhile, Goku, Gohan, and Piccolo train up, and Goku even managed to get his own rage to attain Super Saiyan once Vegeta showed him the process. With that, the Saiyans are getting ready to greet and fight the androids, all while trusting Vegeta's word. Can they trust Vegeta, and will androids actually arrive? After 4 years of Saiyans training and Vegeta chilling out while ignoring the fact that he has a son, Vegeta mentions the time and place. So early in the morning, they go in the outskirts and wait. After a while, a big explosion happens and they go investigate. They notice they can't see the androids and are on high guard. Eventually, Yamcha finds them and gets Yamcha'd as usual. Goku tries getting them into the outskirts, but Vegeta wants to defeat them here and now. Despite that, Vegeta is brought to the outskirts a few short moments later and the fight starts. Goku fights 19 while Vegeta keeps 20 in check. Goku fights for a bit until he gets caught up with the heart virus, so Krillin goes to his aid and takes him back home to get treatment, while Vegeta is taking care of business. Vegeta finishes the job in a brief moment and is now after Android 20. 20 tries to escape, but Vegeta is nearly double the strength of a Super Saiyan Goku in just his base power and easily catches up to him. So Vegeta easily kills off Android 20 as well. At that moment, the kid Vegeta met in space arrives and sees 19 and 20 comfortably enjoying their deaths.
Those are not the androids!
Maybe if you told me how they look like, we would get to killing the real ones.
Maybe if you asked me how they look like, maybe you wouldn't be a shitty father.
What?
Trunks knew he kind of messed up by angrily replying, so now Vegeta knows the kid that told him of the androids is his son. Trunks then introduces himself properly and goes into detail about said androids. Trunks then recommends that they should find those androids, which are in Dr. Jiro's secret lab, to which Bulma shines a little light on the situation, knowing where it is. So they head there. In the lab, they see 3 capsules and an incubator. The capsules contain the androids, while the incubator contains an embryo. Trunks immediately knows this is Cell and destroys it right there.
What the hell, Trunks? That embryo could have been reprogrammed.
If I left that thing to grow, it would be a bigger hassle than it's worth. So don't tell me how to save the world, even if you are my mom.
Bulma just took it and went on to look at the androids that were sealed away. Seeing them and seeing the complex codes used for them really piqued Bulma's interest, and she has a strong desire to turn them back to normal, where they're away from any bad influence and are free to do as they please, as she recognizes the two Trunks told them about being much like enhanced humans, and the other one to be a fully rebuilt version of Jiro's son, who died. Trunks wanted to destroy them while he still can, but Bulma says not to, as she can figure out a way to get them back to normal and help them with whatever comes their way. After tinkering with the androids, Bulma releases them all, now having no urge programmed in them, no task. They look around and 18 comments.
Wow, so Jiro is gone. That's a relief.
What is our primary objective?
You can make whatever objective you want. You're free.
16, 17, and 18 all introduce themselves and show gratitude. Bulma goes as far as talking to them into Stay and Capsule Corp, while Trunks sees just how tables can turn with a smart mom around. At Capsule Corp, Lazuli, or 18, decides to take a job at the corporate. Lapis, or 17, decides he will go in the wilderness, see if he can occupy his mind with something, and 16 develops a strong love for nature and decides to follow Lapis just because Lapis is going to the wilderness. Bulma then goes back to the lab with future Trunks to see if anything remained that he might have missed, leaving baby Trunks with Vegeta, who is angry that a warrior doesn't have time for kids. At the lab, they search around the premises, and after searching and almost giving up, they found a Moss time machine, which Trunks recognizes almost instantly. He thinks that something must have traveled back here, attempting to find a spot with hope written on it, confirming his claims.
Something is very off. I know for a fact it's not mine.
Someone traveled from the future? Maybe in another you?
Unlikely. There is some shedding from some creature. Mom, you know the thing I destroyed? I think the grown version of that embryo is here. Its name is Cell. Go, I'll fight Cell.
He knows something is wrong and that a threat is nearing. Actually, it's right up on a mountain as it calls out for him. Trunks trembles as he can hear that voice anywhere. Cell from another timeline, and already perfect from absorbing this time's androids, has appeared and is questioning Trunks.
Hello, Trunks. Glad to see me after you left me. You're not welcome here. Oh, I am welcome here. The androids put up a bit of a fight, but they're off the hook.
Goku also arrives, as well as Vegeta, to see what's wrong, and they see a green bugman standing on a hill.
So that's in another android.
Yes, be on guard.
Goku decides to fight it, and he just gets cast off to the side, meaning Vegeta is next.
Just so you know, I'm a tougher cookie to crumble.
Let's see how much tougher.
Cell is barely using any energy against Vegeta, and Vegeta is just relaxing, knowing he's immortal. Cell goes and plays with Vegeta, but Vegeta does the same thing that he did with Frieza by blasting Cell with a final flash at full power. That made Cell to increase his own wave, and Vegeta got himself caught up in it. That made Vegeta extremely damaged, but certainly not dead. Thankfully, he had the sensu in his mouth, which he ate up and healed with. He got a massive Zenkai boost along with it, and all he had to do is go Super Saiyan to surpass Cell. Even though Vegeta had a chance to kill Cell before his Zenkai using Super Saiyan, he made sure he's stronger and went for the kill. Cell now had no chance and was destroyed inwards, outwards, and upwards. Vegeta beat up Cell to the point of spitting out Android 18 and 17, which reverted him back to his imperfect form. With Cell being powerless to defend himself or do anything, Vegeta blasted him to hell and back. At that time, Android 16 came by, all messed up, and he told the gang that Cell can regenerate from being just a single cell. That was backed up when 16 got punched through the back by Cell, who was back in his perfected form. Vegeta went full power, sensing Cell's power, and he went for it. Cell was a lot stronger than Vegeta at this point, and Vegeta had a tough time handling Cell, but he wasn't concerned one bit. Cell made Vegeta his play toy, but not for long. When Vegeta got damaged, he would get a boost. Cell was confused, but he used everything he could to kill Vegeta.
How is my father handling Cell with such ease?
He wished for immortality and can regenerate, getting boosts from that as well.
Immortality? Father from my timeline lost against the androids almost immediately. That's from what I know at least.
Vegeta was holding back and letting Cell beat him up. So when he got enough of a boost, he powered up all the way and kicked Cell so hard that Cell spat out blood. Once down, he threw Cell in the air and powered up the strongest Galley gun he could and kept it running until nothing was left from Cell.
With that, Cell is defeated, and Vegeta saved everyone for the second time now. How is Vegeta going to handle now, being the strongest Saiyan ever?
After Cell, there wasn't much to do for the Z fighters. 16 and 17 both took roles of protecting wildlife, and 18 married Krillin, considering him cute for some reason. Vegeta was as strong as ever and also training to surpass his highest limits, along with Goku, Gohan and Piccolo, who share the gravity room with him. Gohan is taught how to transform into a Super Saiyan, and also Goku got to the point where he could use Super Saiyan as his base, which Vegeta easily copied and also did the same. 7 comfortable years have passed and not much changed since then. Gohan still becomes a nerd, Krillin still gets a daughter, Goku is still being Goku, and Vegeta is being Vegeta, but with 10 times more pride, since the pride that came along with immortality is holding on strong. Gohan gets bullied into a Tenkaichi Budokai by Videl, and he spreads the word to the rest of the gang. Goku, Vegeta and Piccolo are all up for it, and even 18 joined in on the fun. Trunks and Goten also join in, except Trunks is 2 years old than Goten, as opposed to only 1 year. The preparations go smoothly, and the Tenkaichi Budokai is now live. Over there, they meet a bunch of weirdos and some interesting people. The 2 of the most weirdest carrying earrings and weird clothes. Piccolo senses something weird from them, being linked with Kami, but can't quite put it together. The tournament starts with the junior division, and everything goes the same as in the original, except Goten gets bullied slightly more by Trunks. After Trunks won and his pride skyrocketed, the main event was up and it went pretty much the same. Piccolo can't move and forfeits. Videl gets plenty of damage and Gohan goes simp mode, and Gohan gets his energy stolen after Shin carefully explained the situation to the gang. Gohan gets healed and the pursuit after Yama and Spopovich is on at a safe distance. At Babidi's ship, they meet the rest of the enemies. Babidi strangles Yama and Spopovich since they were useless at that point, and they're celebrating on gathering Gohan's energy. Vegeta goes for it. He kills Pui Pui and goes for Dabura, but Dabura spits on him, which slowly turned Vegeta into stone. However, Vegeta bursts into a Super Saiyan and the aura breaks the stoned arm off. Regenerating it, he goes for the kill. Babidi escaped into the depths of his ship to gather the energy he needed to release Buu. Going into the ship, the whole thing begins. Vegeta decides to fight whatever comes their way, but have 3 levels to go, and then they go in. On the first level, Babidi enters Vegeta's head right away and tries taking control of him with the spell. Kaioshin knows what's happening and is trying his best to tell Vegeta he's not the same as he used to be. This time, Vegeta doesn't listen to the Supreme Kai, but knows he's the strongest and is not letting Babidi take his strength for his own benefit. So he fights it with all his might. With all this power Vegeta is harnessing, he punches through the first level and is trying to get Babidi to kill him. But he gets put down when Yakon appears and everyone gets transported into eternal darkness, where nothing can be seen. Yakon tries taking the light emitted from Vegeta and succeeds in doing so, forcing Goku and Gohan to fight instead, while Vegeta is struggling with the possession. Goku already figured out Yakon can absorb light and buff himself up with it. So Goku went Super Saiyan again, despite Gohan suggesting otherwise. However, Goku unveiled Super Saiyan 2 and Yakon bit a bit more than he could chew, killing him on the spot. With Yakon out of the way, Goku burst into the next floor of the ship while Shin stayed with Vegeta, who is still fighting with himself. On the second level of the ship, Goku and Gohan get there, and just as they're about to go punch through again, they get stuck in place. Babidi is trying to paralyze them so they can't go any further, but Goku and Gohan aren't letting themselves be trapped like this. Goku and Gohan both power up into their respective Super Saiyan 2s and are breaking up Babidi's hold spell. As they are trying hard, Vegeta comes out of nowhere and starts crashing down in his own Super Saiyan 2 and with a Majin mark on his forehead. He breaks all the way down to base of the ship, killing off Babidi and effectively getting rid of the corruption the spell did on him, which removed the Majin symbol from his forehead. Goku, Gohan and Shin get down to Vegeta, who has veins popping all over him.
No one is gonna control the Prince of all Saiyans, bitch!
Just as they were all about to get the hell out of there was a pink mist that surrounded them all around. They moved out of there and observed, with Shin shitting himself. Before them summoned Majin Buu, and he looked around, looking around and seeing no one but the gang above them. Goku wants to fight, so he goes. Vegeta was way too tired from the consumption of ki he had to do to restrict Babidi. Gohan and Shin were too weak, so they relied on Goku. Goku began his battle and he's handling relatively well, but Buu is just playing with him. Actually, literally, Buu was thinking that Goku was playing with him and went with it. But Goku made it very clear he was fighting by going Super Saiyan 2 and continuing the fight. Buu got a serious face and pulled a Kaine beam on Goku. Before Goku could react, Shin came in front of Goku and got hit with the beam, while screaming to Goku to defeat him as soon as possible, before turning into candy. Goku was surprised and so was Buu. Buu then ate up the chocolatified Shin and started evolving right in front of Goku and the gang. He evolved into a slightly thinner version of himself. Goku then didn't resist holding back and started transforming yet again, transforming into Super Saiyan 3. That surprised both Gohan and Vegeta, with Vegeta bitching about him being stronger. Goku then attacked Buu with all of his might, seeing the power of Buu. However, Goku witnessed yet another weird thing about Buu, and that's regeneration. Goku figured he's the same as Cell to some extent, so he tries doing the same as Vegeta did to Cell. He injures Buu to the point where his regen is slower from exhaustion, and then kicks him high in the air and powers up a massive Kamehameha to finish Buu off. Having done that, Goku goes back to base and starts panting from the overexertion of ki.
I know I went beyond, but this form takes more ki than it's worth. I don't recommend going beyond for this shit.
I noticed. Let's go revive the Jipper Yapper. You just killed him along with Buu. So,
I forgot he existed.
With all of that done, they visit Bulma to get her Dragon Radar to get the Dragon Balls, but Bulma already had all the Dragon Balls in possession. She wanted to do something with them and angrily asked what they need them for. Goku just briefly explained that the Supreme Kai died to protect him from Buu and they need to revive him. Just then, someone arrives on Earth.
So, someone killed the Supreme Kai. I see.
It was the four we fought. Went by the name of Majin Buu.
Interesting. Just so you're aware, that Supreme Kai was linked with the God of Destruction. Someone will need to take Beerus's place, I'm afraid.
With that, Whis has arrived on Earth, and the mishap with Buu led to the death of Beerus. What will happen next? Who is the next destroyer?
Whis, Vegeta, Goku and Gohan were all in a verbal conflict about the Supreme Kai's death, remotely Beerus's death as well. Whis decides one of them needs to take the mantle of the next destroyer and also to find a good replacement for a Supreme Kai.
I was the one to kill him, so I think I should be the one responsible for the death of the Supreme Kai.
don't be absurd. There must be someone capable of being a destroyer.
Beerus wasn't really a perfect destroyer in any way.
Well, shit. Then I would like to take the mantle. I have more than enough to meet your expectations.
I'm not the one to make that decision.
Then take me to the one who does.
Very well. You might want to dress up nicely and clean yourself.
With it, Vegeta takes new armor and Whis doesn't quite like the appearance, so Whis tells Vegeta to look professional. Vegeta asks Bulma on what to wear to look professional and he gets a nice tuxedo to go. That done, Whis and Vegeta depart, leaving Earth into the unknown. Goku and Gohan now have to come up with something to get Shin to come back, but Piccolo comes by and tells the gang that Shin is now gone and that they need to find the next Supreme Kai and Destroyer. Goku and Gohan are quite confused, but they listen to Piccolo. They find the next nearest Kai and tell him to Kai them both to Omni King's palace. He obliges and does so. Over there, Whis and Vegeta stand there until Daishinkan comes out and welcomes them. They are escorted inside the palace and are confronted in front of the Omni King. Zeno makes an appearance and introduces himself to Vegeta. Vegeta sees Whis bowing his head, and the Universe 6 Kai bows completely on his knees, so Vegeta shows respect by going on one knee and bowing. Whis explains what happened. Daishinkan and Zeno acknowledge the situation and decide to have a Supreme Kai in training become a full-fledged Supreme Kai a bit prematurely and let Vegeta be that destroyer. Vegeta has to accept, and Daishinkan began preparations for training Vegeta. The trio leaves and the Supreme Kai teleports them back home. Vegeta is told he needs to go to Universe 11 to train to become a destroyer. Vegeta does, but before that he goes home to take as many things as he possibly can and to also take a few essentials so he can prepare. He puts some fresh new clothes and then Vegeta goes with Whis, who takes him to the Universe 11's world of their destroyer. Over there, Belmont presents himself to be their destroyer and there is already someone training there as well. The person presents themselves as Toppo and that he's gonna become the next god of destruction for Universe 11. Vegeta smiles and appreciates the fact that he will have a sparring buddy. With all that set in place, they begin their training. While all that is going on, Daishinkan visited Universe 10 and spoke to Gowasu, who trained Zamasu, his replacement. Daishinkan tells Gowasu that Universe 7 lost both their destroyer and Kaioshin, so they need new ones. He then explains that the destroyer is already chosen and now all they need is a Kai. Zamasu is willing to take the spot, but Daishinkan tells him he's too confused about the living beings and the mortal kind to become one. So he needs to understand everything first by the time the next destroyer finishes his training. Zamasu understands and Daishinkan leaves, leaving everything in the hands of Gowasu. Back to Vegeta, he's making excellent progress in terms of strength due to him regenerating quite fast and getting massive Zenkai boosts. He also learned how to summon a Hakai Blast, but can't control it fully. So in the meantime, he trains with Toppo. In no time, Vegeta has grown into the whole destroyer business and is able to Hakai almost anything without bursting any ki. He also mastered God Ki so he could use the Hakai to the fullest of its capacity and is now aiming to finish his training to the best of his ability. After just a few days, Vegeta is now almost a full-fledged destroyer and now all he needs is eternal youth, or immortality, linked with the next Kaioshin. So Belmont contacts Daishinkan and tells him of Vegeta's progress. Daishinkan is very impressed that Vegeta managed to pull it off in just a couple of days. He then proceeds to contact Zamasu to let him know the ritual will commence in about 45 minutes. Zamasu is okay with that and all is set in place. Vegeta is transported almost instantaneously and Zamasu a few short minutes later. Vegeta and Zamasu both get to meet each other and seem to get on well. Half an hour later, Daishinkan arrives and transports them to a linkage tree, for which its main purpose is completing the training of both parties and making them complete deities. Daishinkan begins the process and all goes well. Vegeta appears with destroyer clothes and Supreme Kai receives the new earrings. The new destroyer and Kaioshin have now been born and now all there is left is to define a place for both of them to live at. Vegeta obviously chooses Earth as he has a family there and also a bunch to protect. He decided to have something similar to the lookout over there. Zamasu just requests to have the same place of residence as the last Supreme Kai. With all that done, they move to their respective places and begin their lives as full-fledged gods of their universe. It's been a while and Vegeta has proven more than just a destroyer. Much more than Beerus, that's for sure. Zamasu isn't confused anymore as Kibito has taught him the ways of the old Kaioshin and Zamasu is just chilling. He did implement some things from his previous place. For example, a tea foundry, so he can drink tea with Kibito. Vegeta is now residing on Earth, which means that Beerus' old planet has been destroyed and now Earth is the planet where the current destroyer resides. So now, the deities are now comfortably residing in Universe 7. Daishinkan is paying attention to what Vegeta is doing and he's doing a great job with it. He puts that responsibility on Whis and Whis accepts. Zamasu actually also becomes quite useful, managing to create a new planet, which he can observe and prove that mortals can indeed be smart and coordinate properly. Vegeta is destroying everything that is unnecessary and has learned the importance of the mortal level. He also has the ability to speak the language of the gods. However, there are some people that want to return a menace to the universe. That is obviously the Frieza Force, and they seek to revive Frieza. So from here, everything goes as per usual up until the point where they arrive on Earth and get caught by Vegeta. Since Vegeta is very high up and is observing anyone on Earth that might pose a threat, he notices the Frieza Force troops going at it with trying to attain the Dragon Balls from the Pilaf gang. Vegeta comes down there just in time, just as they're about to go and summon Shenron. Vegeta simply interrupts them by surprise and asks them a few innocent questions, which to them are normal, but to Vegeta it's basically answers. The goons actually recognize the prince and are scared of him. Vegeta notices that and gets it over with by simply Hakkaiing them out of existence.
With that, Vegeta has noticed that the Frieza Force is still active. Now it's only a matter of time as to what will happen to them.
Once Vegeta noticed that the Frieza Force is still alive and active, he took drastic measures to destroy every little speck of them to bring peace to the cosmos. That said, he takes Whis along on the ride and goes to find their ship. Whis locates it fairly easily, and so they get there in about a few dozen minutes. They arrive there and enter the ship once the door opened for a smaller ship to get out of its hull. They enter and get immediately noticed on the cameras. They recognize Vegeta and his attendant. They do not want to let him in, so he destroys the door and welcomes himself in the ship. He reminisces the time when he used to board the same ship and take conquests in it. But he gets back from his fantasies and starts a speech about him being in the Frieza Force only for him to be deceived and his planet destroyed by Frieza. And to prevent that from happening to anyone else, he tells them he will destroy the entire ship and them in it. When they begin laughing, Vegeta explodes the ship in one quick motion and then shoots a Hakkai blast at them all, while they're withering out in a vacuum of space. That done, he then goes home with his pride back. He tells Whis that he always wanted to control the universe like Frieza, but this is even better. It's been quite a while and Vegeta has been doing quite well as a destroyer. So much so that Whis has been flexing to his father and his siblings about Vegeta's recent performances. That Shinkan saw that the mortal level of their universe has spiked significantly and that Vegeta does indeed do a great job of keeping to his word, but they won't know how long for. In the meantime, Vegeta is chilling at home, but at Capsule Corp as him and his family were having a good time. Goku also came along with Goten and Gohan came with Baby Pan and Videl. They had a nice feast and a party for Vegeta's sudden promotion to a destroyer, and even Zamasu was there to witness it. Zamasu very much liked the food on Earth and was interested in some of the Earth's brews. So he had a couple of teas and now his view of mortals has completely changed. He saw that mortals can produce such very well brewed tea that he grew to like Earthlings. Whis was just munching on every type of food and liked pretty much every single one of the meals. Bulma was happy that Whis enjoyed all of those meals, but no peace lasts. As they're all having a good time, something crashes right outside where they were eating. They see some kind of ship, and upon closer examination, Vegeta notices that it's a time machine that Trunks used all the way back. Whis isn't too happy with the sudden discovery, so he says so. Vegeta doesn't know, so he will keep it brief. Vegeta and Goku go to check in on the ship and see that it's indeed Trunks in there and he's all battered up. They set him on the benches and wait for him to grab a bit of consciousness. Vegeta tells Goku to grab a sensu bean and Goku flies there to get it. In the meantime, Trunks gains a bit of consciousness and is muttering something, but can't speak up much. It's only when Goku fed him a sensu and Trunks awakened that he could see everything. He sees the gang and starts crying from joy that he has actually succeeded in going back into the past. He looks around and sees that everyone is in check and that his father has some new clothes and a weird angel dude beside him. After he came back to his senses and the whole scene went depressing again, he began talking.
So basically, I have defeated the androids, and Cell for that matter, and even this thing called Majin Buu. But something went south with the Dragon Balls, and now there's 7 evil dragons scattered about, and also destroying the planet. Apparently it's from using the Dragon Balls too much, and now it has resonated on Earth as a whole. In a short time, one of them absorbed all the Dragon Balls and now is rampaging all around the world. Goku is our last line of defense there. Vegeta, my father, is long gone. I even grew a tail to try and surpass into Super Saiyan 4.
This rant went for quite a while, and to skip a bit forward, it's the Omega Shenron, and now he's basically a tyrant of Earth. However, this timeline is a bit different. Vegeta is dead, and they built a time machine in hopes of Trunks getting more powerful to withstand Omega Shenron, and even defeat him. To Vegeta, all that sounded good, but Whis chimed in, saying that time travel is strictly against the rules, and any time manipulation is very much punishable by the gods. Trunks isn't aware of that, neither is anyone else. Even to Vegeta it was a novelty. Getting in on it further, Whis and Zamasu explained that only Kaioshin are able to go into the future and in our past using something called the time rings, and they only shall be used to look into about 1,000 years, without changing anything in that timeline, as it's only meant to go in one direction. That said, Vegeta says that they can just train Trunks and get it over with, to which Whis is quite skeptical, but he entrusts the process to Vegeta, seeing that he turned the entire universe into something majestic already, so why not give him a chance of trusting him this time as well? And so, they began their training, and Vegeta was the one to train his son. They both went into the time chamber, which was upgraded by Kami, and they go in and train up for a full year. To recap some of the training, Vegeta teaches Trunks ki control, which allows him to go into Super Saiyan God with a bit more training. Trunks also displays Super Saiyan 4 and then amazes Vegeta, wanting to learn it too. Trunks gives out a theory about it and also how to grow their tails back. Vegeta does the necessary training to get his tail out, and now Vegeta has grown his tail. Once that was done, Vegeta wondered if he could stack that newfound form with God Ki. So he tried training Trunks to try and transform into Super Saiyan 4 and then access his God power. They succeed, and now they are on the high horse. Even Vegeta managed to pull it off, and now they're off to the races. Vegeta and Trunks both get out of the time chamber and are getting back from their training back to Capsule Corp, where everyone was still waiting. Trunks thanked his father for training him, as he never had a proper father figure in his life. With it, Trunks leaves and says he will travel back with the news. Vegeta wishes him good luck, and Trunks departs back into the future. As they're all waiting, Vegeta tells Whis to train Goku, Gohan and the kids everything they need to know about God Ki and how to access the God power on their own. Whis obliges and the training begins. Trunks arrived after about 2 hours and with a smile on his face, thanks his father and hugged him. They share some small talk about what the future is all about, and they go on their merry way. Vegeta goes back to his outpost and Trunks goes back to the future.
With that, the future is saved, but not in the canon way. Vegeta got a new form, and now he's even stronger. What other challenges will Vegeta manage to endure?
After everything went smooth, Vegeta was at peace. Whis was glad that Vegeta managed to handle the situation like that, being able to trust him. One thing Whis mentioned is that now that Vegeta has a tail, he can incorporate his primal form with Destroyer form / Ultra Ego to maximize its effect. Whis mentions that in the Destroyer world, it's called the Veritated Destroyer. To translate it, it basically means that the Destroyer has completed his training as a whole and that he's able to push his boundaries as a god to a whole another level. Vegeta is curious about his new state he got when training with Trunks and transforms into a Super Saiyan 4, combining Ultra Ego with his power. Whis is astonished that Vegeta has already managed that so quickly, but before Vegeta could speak, Vegeta started glowing as he was frozen in place. All of a sudden, Daishinkan appeared right before it, congratulating him on such a fast and sudden mastery. Vegeta couldn't say anything more than to accept the congratulations from the Grand Priest. There was nothing much to do except control the cosmos. Vegeta would usually go to the site of the trouble and fight them for a bit, seeking a good challenge, before disposing of the trash. There was literally nothing much to do except keep the whole place in check here and there. Vegeta did have to attend the Destroyer meeting for the first time though to capture the progress in their universe. Vegeta caught Champa lacking and started roasting him. To Champa it was quite offensive and he filed a report, while every other destroyer told him that he's the very first one to do that and that he did a good thing. Kitela even mentioned how he is on his first strike already for falsely reporting a fellow destroyer. Vegeta didn't give a single damn, and when Vegeta was approached to discuss that with Shinkan, Vegeta simply told Shinkan to follow Champa at a distance and he'll know exactly what Champa does all the time, which is basically nothing. Shinkan does so, and over the course of a month, Vegeta's and Quintela's records have been cleaned, and Quintela's strike has been transferred to Champa, making him do actual work now. After that, all was well, and Vegeta came back from another quest of destroying a species that was responsible for destroying planets. They were following in the footsteps of the Frieza Force, and they have been wiped as well. All of a sudden, Whis gets a distress call from Miras, an angel lieutenant in training, asking for help. Whis and Vegeta hear the story of Moro and how he escaped. Vegeta takes on the challenge, despite Whis going against it. With it, Whis and Vegeta go to Namek, where Moro was last reported, and Moro already did some damage while waiting on Vegeta. Vegeta already senses his life force pulling away, but he holds it in so it doesn't leak as much. Miras told Vegeta he can just catch him and put him back in jail, but that was not in Vegeta's plans. Vegeta went and got tired of the energy drain, so he powered up, went to Moro and kicked him in the mouth, breaking his jaw. He was immediately Hakkai'd and all was done. However, Earth got attacked and Vegeta sighed, asking what is attacking his home now. Whis mentions 7-3 and they go back to Earth. Over there, everyone is pretty much drained and Vegeta sees 7-3 in Kaioken. Turning around, 7-3 comments on Vegeta being a god of destruction, asking where Beerus is. Vegeta gets his usual disgusted face and goes up to 7-3, extending his hand and Hakkai'ing him. Skipping forward, the Granola arc does start, but all the work is done by Granola himself. No heaters since Vegeta Hakkai'd them for causing a ruckus on planet Potafu. That said, Granola and Vegeta do meet and the fight does ensue. But even though Granola wished to be the strongest in the universe, Vegeta was that strongest and his power grew due to the Ultra Ego, stacking on top of his Super Saiyan 4 and he was unbeatable. It took a while for Granola to catch up on what the Saiyans were doing. Once all of that was done, Gas had to interrupt and Vegeta fought him. Vegeta proved to be at a corner, but only up until Vegeta and Granola teamed up and Vegeta stabbed Gas with a Hakkai blade. There was no Frieza to bitch about since he's dead. Oil and Maki didn't exist either because, again, Vegeta. After all of that was over, Granola was invited to train on Vegeta's world and he was humbly welcomed. He was even given a chance by Vegeta to have a one last home before he, as the last of his race, ceases to exist. All was done and well, and now the universe and the cosmos were at peace. On one peaceful day, a rift opened. Vegeta already went to check it out. Granola and Goku also rushed to check it out, and what they saw made their jaws drop. A Vegeta lookalike came out of it, but this one was just slightly different as he had a beard. This traveling across the timelines gets disorienting. Oh hey, you're apparently the Vegeta that wished for immortality, right?
How did you get here?
Oh, I came from a different timeline where I'm stronger than anyone here.
Prove it, tough guy.
With that little talk, the two began fighting. Vegeta went straight for his Ultra Ego and started attacking the stranger, while the stranger was just calmly dodging in his base form. Vegeta was trying his best, but he realized he can't do much. Show me your full power, and I will show you mine.
You can bet on that.
With no hesitation, Vegeta went Super Saiyan 4 and stacked it with his Ultra Ego. With it, he went and attacked the strange lookalike. While Vegeta was giving it his best, the stranger was quite impressed. However, the stranger got too carried away and he got hit by Vegeta, making him fly off the Sky Temple. All was well and Vegeta thought he won, but there was a scream from beneath Vegeta's temple.
What's going on?
This is a promise. This is me, my final form.
That power, it's way greater than anything I've ever imagined.
I'm sure now you know who I should be.
I do, and I will do anything to protect this planet.
No, you idiot. I was the one who created you.
I came here to invite you to a tournament, if you're willing to prove that you're the strongest.
A tournament?
Yeah, I called it a tournament of Vegetas. I got the idea from my best friend in my timeline, who made the Goku version. Wanna participate?
Who am I participating against?
Yourself? You're basically fighting other versions of yourself. There's one that was born with Destroyer Ki, with Divine Ki, that was born with that Super Saiyan 4 of yours, even the one who was born as a girl.
A battle with myself? That's cool. I might surpass my own self.
Glad to put you up on board. I'm just waiting to surpass 10,000 subscribers, which means you guys have to subscribe in order to see this tournament unfold. It's a choice of preference, but if you want to see the tournament, do subscribe. It helps me a lot and it gets me closer to my goal and your tournament. Thank you for watching. If you think the bike will never be repaired, then click dislike, but if you liked the video, hit that like button. Please feel free to check out the sparring partners on my channel page and give them some love. If you'd like me to cover your idea in the near future, comment down below. And as always, peace out.